Pro, and today we're going to be talking about Pokemon investing. And I might be late on this type of content, but I'm really interested in the actual, I guess you could say, the data of the past within the Pokemon hobby or the Pokemon world space trading card game platform and stuff. Specifically, the trading card game because Pokemon has is a brand and they have many things like games, the Pokemon trading card, movies, TV shows, all sorts of things, merchandise. But and really specifically, I think that this year, I'm not sure how mainstream Pokemon is, but we're seeing signs of it being mainstream. And so if it is going to become mainstream, I want to, I guess, talk and see like the future of Pokemon in a way. So, for example, I want to start off by saying that Pokemon came out in around 1999. Well, it came out around in 19, I think 99 for base set, but I know there's different. I know in Japan there was like tester cards, and there's like there. I think like there was like different like cardus cards or something. Those were like the original Pokemon cards, but so we know the English because I guess most of us grew, well, a lot of people that aren't my age grew up in Pokemon. I know the people who are a lot older than me, around like 28, 29. Like my cousins are older. They grew up in the or maybe everybody. I would say everybody grew up in the was able to, open Pokemon packs and find stuff. So I think especially now in 2025 the whole landscape has changed and we're coming to an end in 2025, and it's been crazy, especially with the unable to find any product, barely getting restocks. Only I think it's been a challenge to get Pokemon product, but you have to camp out, you have to do all sorts of things, you have to run through hula hoops to even get you know what's it called, Pokemon products. So yeah, and I want to talk about the history of it. I want to talk about the history of investing in Pokemon cards. So investing, especially for everybody, or I'm not sure who is going to invest in Pokemon. I'm kind of investing in Pokemon. I'm not too certain of it. I'm not. If you, I'm and I invest in stocks and equities. I don't really invest in like the trading card game because I just got into this hobby, so I'm not too seeing that. I'm trying to do the business side of it, but at the same time, it's for me it's something that like I don't know fully yet, but I do like buying and reselling stuff, even though I'm probably not making money. But so yeah, and I like to uh, I like to say that like investing is a very weird not weird, but investing is the actual like strong like decision at the end of the day when you are putting in your hard-earned money into something such as an investment, because we all know that investments, they there's a risk to them. But especially for Pokemon, it's really interesting. But it's on all cases, everything has its own risks, and so I'm going to show you guys that for people that come in, new investors, new people, new hobbyists, new whatever you want to do, if you're even thinking about investing a large portion of your savings or earnings into the Pokemon trading card game, just for your so your money could grow. That's all. That's a very interesting thing, and I don't know. I'm not too sure how that would work out because again, I'm not really that type of risk aversive, and so I stay away a little bit from everything. Honestly, I don't even buy Bitcoin or any of that or any of those things because again, It's I'm not trying to hate on Bitcoin. I don't really know anything about Bitcoin. I was there during all the cycles. I was there during 2021. I remember it got to 69,000. Then it went crashed down to 15,000. Then it went back up, and then back in 2022 it crashed down to like 15K. I could have bought in. You know, could have gone to $100,000 a coin. That's a 4 or 5x. That's like a 3x, right? That's like a 5x right there almost. That's more than 5 times your money. So I understand that the Bitcoin has its you know has its like has its benefits, but at the same time I am more of a Warren Buffett type of investor, and that might not work out for you. So if you are someone that doesn't like taking it slowly, then that's something that's up to you. You have to look into that for yourself. I'm a different type of person. I don't really invest like that. I do invest in individual stocks, but I also invest in ETFs, and yeah, and so that's basically a little bit of my part and my experience with this type of hobby and type of game. Other card games, I don't know about them because, again, at the same time, I'm still new and I'm not really fully in yet or wanting to be in yet at this time. So you know, that's something maybe in the future that might happen. I don't know. Maybe I will abandon Pokemon. I don't know. People like I hear a lot of people say that people leave the hobby within a year. I'm almost here a year. I might leave, I might not leave. I don't know. But at the same time, I do like to talk about this. So we're gonna talk about the Pokemon. Enough rambling about whatever we're talking about. You came here for the Pokemon. So to start off, we have the first ever, not the first base set. I didn't have time to look at base set, but this is one of the first ever print sets of Pokemon. Obviously the best one is going to be base set first edition, and so we're going to do over to 2000, which is first edition Team Rocket sealed booster box. And right now this set is about 47 grand and $974 plus taxes and stuff, depending on how you organize yourself to do that. You could get it without tax, but that's also a different implication. And so one has actually sold. I'm not sure if it was a fake listing, someone might have bought it, who knows? But this is a possibly legitimate base set Team Rocket first edition for $47,000. And interesting enough, it's only been 20. This is a 25-year-old investment. So I don't know. I haven't got all the data yet, but comparing into a stock, there's very few companies that have actually gotten you to this type of gains, but there is companies that have gotten you to this type of gain even if you invested into it. Because for example, Apple in 1999 was probably, let's look, Apple in 2019. Oh no, not 2019. 1999 share price. Apple in 1999 was $77, 77 cents. And so 77 cents in 1999 or in 2000. Let's Oh gosh, this is a very let me, oh my gosh, this is a I'll put in 2000, or let's put 2001. Oh gosh, I can't even control this. Okay, so comparing in these two items, if you were to spend $150 on this box, you would be up around the same amount that Apple was. If you invested $1, so there's a differences within stocks, but this was in 1999. You have to held out for 25 years, guys. 25 years. Can you guys invest in for 25 years? Are we able to invest for 25 years? Can we realize these type of gains in 25 years? So if we look at that, this is for a different box. This is going to be for a, but let's see after 25 years. Okay, so your investment is probably going to be around 20%. Nope, 35%. Oh gosh. Actually, nope, it's like 15%. Oh gosh, I can't even calculate, guys. 20, 30%, 19%, 20%, 22%, 25%, or 23%. How much is this right now? It was 47. 27%. 6%. Okay, around 26%. If you invested $150 in this Pokemon product and you in a Team Market booster box first edition, you kept the sealed minty condition for 25 years, your overall rate of return would have been 26%. And that's really crazy. That's actually really good. That's actually a very interesting number right there. And that's a really good thing. So that shows us the power of investing. We're going to talk about now the next newest sets. We're going to skip over a couple of generations, and we're going to go to black and white base set booster box. I'm only looking at base set. We're not looking at the different other sets because you can get differences. But let's say you just bought the base set. Let's just say you were a base set and got type of guy. Let's say you're like, I don't even believe in the other sets. I only want that base set because it's the first one. Even though Pokemon is a little bit about, knowing which set is loved by the community, which is desired, and stuff like that. So, there's different sets that have different values. So you have to take that into consideration. But let's say you were just like, I want the first set of each era. So now we have a sold listing of 4,800 for a black and white base set in 2011. So if you were to invest 2011, let's look at Apple price in 2011. I think I might be able to get to these type of 2011 was $12. The latest price was $278. So in Apple in 2011 was $12.15. So if it was $78, you would have been up around 7,000% in Apple. But Apple, we don't know. We're not comparing Apple to Pokemon because we can, but at the same time, you have to think of this as a like entertainment video, as a informational. So let's say it was 14 years to get to here today. So if you invested $150 into a base set booster box of black and white because that's the most retail, your percentage would be actually around 28%. I'm pretty sure 28.8, or it was 28.5. It was like 28.5%, around 28 to 29% year over year. If you were to invest $150 to buy one booster box of Pokemon Black and White, and I think that was the price of Pokemon back then. I believe so. I don't think boxes were around. I think they might have been even less, guys. But that's just, I'm using that number figuratively because that's the price that we see around this time. Even though Pokemon Center is around $161. So, but MSRP is card shops on release give it for $150. So, let's just put that into consideration. So you would have been around 28% year over year in an Apple if you invested $150. Let's do a calculator. Let's get the calculations going. Let's see. If you were to invest $12, $150. I don't think they had fractional shares in 2011, but let's say they did, and you invested at these times a lump sum, you would have had gotten 12 shares, and you times that by 278, assuming you survive the downturns and all these things, you'd be around $3,441. That is actually less than what this booster box would sell for. Now, you could say that the taxes and the capital gains and shipping, but you would be, I would say you would beat this price. You would beat the return of Apple in if you were to buy a black and white booster box in 2011 when this set came out for $150. You would have been up more than Apple price. So take that into, so this is a really interesting thing. And so now we're going to skip over a couple generations and we're going to go to base set X and Y. Base set X and Y, I'm pretty sure came out in, when did this come out? I think I doxed myself. Base set came out in, oh gosh, hold on one second. Okay, guys, I'm back. So let's talk about base set X and Y. Base set X and Y came out in 2014, and the price of the base set booster box, again, $150. Now a listing on TCG Player was 3,900. Is there any more snapshots? The last sold was 4,200, but let's just say 3,900, just for the sake, because of volatility and stuff like that. If you were to buy Apple in 2014, you would have been paying $24.47 a share. And let's actually calculate. Let's do the math again. Divided by 24.47 times 2. Oh gosh. I forgot how much shares that was. 24. I can't even divide. Divided by 24.7 equals 6 times 278.78. You'd be at around $1,700. So you would have actually made around 2 times the money investing in X and Y. So that is really interesting because there's a pattern that we see here for now in Pokemon that the older a set gets, the more it's going to rise over time. And the gains of this has actually outproduced the actual market. Even the best company that we could say would be Apple, one of the best companies, it's confirmed that in 2000 you would have made more money. I don't know if we looked at Sun and Moon. No, we looked at in Team Rocket. If you were to buy a Team Rocket booster box, I'm not sure if you were to be able to outperform Apple if you had bought in this time period, but we can confirm that if you bought in 2011, 2014, you would have outperformed Apple, one of the best companies, if you put that same amount of money. So let's go to Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon is around $900. Sun and Moon, I think, came out in 2016, I believe. Let's put 2017. Okay, 2017. Apple in 2017. It was $39. So, as you see, guys, that's not including dividends. This is a very difference. There's dividends and stuff. So let's highlight that we not including dividends, not including all these awesome things, but just focusing solely on the price per the item. Sun and Moon is around $914. That is a lot more than Apple at $39.63. So 39.63 times what's that amount? No, not times, divided. 150 divided by divided by, oh gosh, no, 150 divided by, what is going on, bro? Okay, 150 divided by 39.63 is 3.78 shares of Apple, and now at that price, I think we might get a different type of fuel. $1,000. Okay, so now we're seeing something different. You would have gotten more money investing in Apple in 2017, buying at the share price of 39.63, investing the same amount if you could have got dividend shares than if you were to invest in Sun and Moon. That's very interesting, guys. So, but interestingly enough, that these Pokemon boxes have risen over time. But let's just say they might be an outlier. So you've gotten less here, but you still made money. You would have been up almost 3 times your money, 4 times your money. Now let's look at Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield booster box is $630. And Sword and Shield came out in 2020. 2020 was a different time period in Pokemon history in the world because of COVID. I'm not sure when the price of this was anymore. So if you were to buy in 2020, let's just say the closing price was, let's just put that you bought at the peak. And so $129. Now we're seeing the number. We're seeing you would have had $278. That would have almost doubled your money. You would have doubled your money in 5 years, which is pretty good, to be honest. That's a really nice outcome to double your money. But if you invested in Sword and Shield, you bought one box at 150, you would have more. No, wait, you don't even double your money. Let me say something again. You wouldn't even double your money. Yeah, wait, you would double your money. Yeah, you would double your money. My bad. You would double, but you would actually triple your money here. You would make a 3x, almost 4x in buying Sword and Shield base set booster boxes. And that's really interesting. Let's talk about the newest, most awesome set that we are in this generation of. I'm in this generation. We're probably all in this generation. And that is Scarlet and Violet booster boxes. Scarlet and Violet came out in 2023, guys. And some people I know people say that they got them for $80 a booster box. Let's just not say that you got it for $80 a booster box. Let's just say you paid the 150 because you paid 150. I don't know why you bought it from the Pokemon Center. You paid 150, or it was like 140, but you paid 150. You would be up around $50, so about 30%. This one you would be around, again, maybe another like maybe you'd be around 50% over here, around here. You'd be up 50% in Apple buying in 2023 than if you were to buy a base set booster box of Scarlet and Violet at 150. But people say that they bought it at $90, $80 a booster box. So you would be up more in Pokemon, but at the same time, you would have to figure out your price point entries. And this is interesting. This is going to be the interesting part of this series. We know the entrances, we know the differences. Let's talk about the real outcome of these investors that are going to come in. The new people are going to come in who are going to be buying these sets, which is Mega Evolution. I know people are going to be investing into these boxes, guys. And we got to talk about it right now. We're talking about this price point entry at $250, some of them more than that. But let's say you invested it right now because, again, you can't really get more than one booster box unless you buy it at market price. You can't get it above the MSRP. So, unless you have a distribution or whatever that you have to get this, but let's just say you bought it at 234. And this set came out. I know when this set came out. It came out in September 28th, I think. September 28th, I believe. Not 28th. September 26th or 14th. So, you had bought this at $234. 2025 Apple stock right now. And September 2020 and September 26th, well, you're basically paying the same amount. Paying a little bit less. You'd have been paying $250. So this is interesting, guys. That a modern, like a very current set in print, in that can be printed. This set can be printed, guys. We got second wave already. We don't know how much Pokemon will print, and they can print if they want to. They might have an incentive not to. Again, I'm a newbie. I only been here less than a year. I'm almost reaching a year. So I don't know about these reprints, guys, that people say that they reprinted Roaring Skies, they reprinted these sets. So yeah, guys, just know that these sets can be reprinted. But what would be the interesting point is comparing an investment because people are calling it investments. So investing in modern booster boxes or the newest sets such as Mega Evolution, when comparing it to Apple or a stock, you're basically paying the same price. You so what does that tell me? It tells me that at the end of the day, you are either going to be investing in these companies. Some of them produce more returns, but Apple is a blue chip, so it makes it's a bit different. But Mega Evolution, guys, I don't know. I can't say for certain where stock could go or how much it could go up. Again, this is a trading card game, so I'm not too like I can't confidently say all these things because I'm not. I don't know. Someone can take that risk, but someone are taking those risks. So 234. But if you do see that in 20 years or 15 years, 5 years, Scarlet and Violet is actually less than base set Mega Evolution, and this is a older set that's gone that could still be in print. Who knows? I'm not too sure. Investing is investing, but if you do look at this 5 years down the line, the base set is around 630. Again, there's different price variances based on the set you currently buy. If you buy all of them or if you specifically buy one, your investment returns are going to be a lot different than if you were to individually like spread out or diversify. But look at that, $630. So you're saying that in 2 years, 5 years, 250 would be around a 2x, and Apple theoretically in 5 years should be around 500 and something. It should be the same price as a booster box. But who knows? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you think are you investing in Pokemon? Do you put capital in these markets? Let me know. I'm very interested because I'm not too sure. Um, people would say instead of investing, they make it into a business. They do rip and ships, they do pack rips, they do all these. They put up a storefront, all these different things, and you can make profit off that. So again, because this is a children's card game. It's cardboard at the end of the day, but it's very 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 different. I can't really explain it to you. It's awesome that cardboard sells, but at the same time it's a very different thing. Um, not to like hate on Pokemon, like but whatever though. So let me know, guys. Are you investing in Pokemon? Have you invested in Pokemon? Again, people. Again, I'm not trying to criticize anything because at the end of the day, it's all a perspective. It's there's a you could get to the pendulum of what this entails is very great. And so what I want to preface is that the pendulum can swing towards many ends, spectrums, very opposite ends, where it doesn't have impact on some people, it has impact on others. And yeah, and I want to talk about those pendulums right now. The pendulum, one side is total gambling, total addiction to gambling in Pokemon. There are people this Pokemon opening Pokemon packs is basically um kind of a like a gamble, not a gambling, but like a gotcha thing where like you get different rarities, and so but you're paying with real money that you earn. And again, to get to that spectrum of total like ruin of gambling, just like any addiction, like drinking, drinking, all these other addictions, there is a dependency on it, and some people may succumb to the dependency of opening Pokemon cards, and that's a real thing. So that's a spectrum that possibly people don't. I think there's some videos already on YouTube like where people spend a lot of money on this hobby, on this on the Pokemon trading game, and some people go into debt, some people lose everything, get divorced, collectible, not Pokemon but collectibles. Everything in life has its ups and downs, but that's something that's a realistic outcome of that. Secondly, is another spectrum that's a little bit above it, but it's still it's a bit above it, but it's not at that point. It is losing, or what I would say a majority, not a majority, but where the where it basically goes to it basically evens out. So in order for someone to basically make money off of Pokemon, they have to upcharge it, sell it to others, and since it's a kind of a gambling, or it's kind of like a luck based thing. It's rarities. There's odds of what you could get, and the value of odds. There's so many factors in there that it's unlikely that you'll ever make money opening Pokemon cards. So that's just a fact. Like that's like just math right there. And so what most people go in is that they lose money. Um, Depending how far you take it, if you are, like I said, you could go into that other spectrum of addiction, gambling addiction. But most people, if they open a lot of packs, hoping to chase these things, they may lose quite a bit of money because what they received in the value of the cards does not exceed what they paid for them. Example, if you buy a XY booster box, Sun and Moon booster box, Sword and Shield booster box, maybe Scarlet and Violet, maybe some of the booster boxes. I think up to Sword. I think up to Sword. I think anything in Sun and Moon, a little bit above. If you open the packs, if you open the booster box and you don't get the top chase, you don't make your money back. Again, that's for people that care about the money. But so we have the people that care about the money in that spectrum of losing money. You have people that are distraught from losing money, and they see that reality, or they understand that they lost money on it because of maybe they had a failed business. They just believe that they could have opened packs and not lose money. But all these sorts of things, you get into that losing money. Some people lose money because, again, it's a children's cardboard game. Doesn't have to be so important, but you lose money. So and that's the collectors, investors. That spectrum falls into every one of us: collectors, investors, players, all that. And so the next step, I would say, the middle pendulum, the balance, the middle part of it is, you could say the smart, not smart ones, but you could say like people that have a budget, buy what they like. If they invest in these booster boxes, they hold them, they have a long term outlook, and maybe they get lucky with restocks, trades. They buy, flip. They don't scalp, but they buy and flip and trade, and they work through it to make money off of it, or at least fund their collection. And that's one part of it, or that's like the end of the spectrum. That's like the end of it, and that varies. That's all different. There's like tiers to it. So there's people that have, well, that's like the third, second to last, so, or third to last. That's the third one. There's people that are content creators with it, that with Pokemon, and they make a living off of it. I think I want to say, like, using the content and stuff, and they buy, resell, stuff like that. And then you get to the next, investing, buying out inventory, like alpha investments, the whole system, the whole capiche thing. And then the last spectrum is the scalpers, and the I don't want to say scalpers, but like the people that just want to be here for them, like the money aspect, and they just go ham, and it causes different things, but then they lose money or whatever. I don't know. Maybe scalpers is its own term, but, or people that run, I don't know, not ripper ships, but, like, you know what I'm saying. Like, there's people that just focus solely on the money, but that's like the end thing, and that's, you get the highest gain. Like, in all that spectrum, uh, you make, like, the gambling is total 100% loss. The second one is, there's a percentage of value, money invested, lost. The middle one is, you would say, break even. You might make money, or you might make a living off of it. Depends on how you do it. And then the last one, you're just focusing on money, and you're trying to get the highest returns possible. Which, again, I don't know how you do it, but it's all a different thing. And so, like I said, guys, I sell, so I understand the part of it where you want to sell. I'm not saying you don't have to sell. I'm not saying to sell, because, again, investing is a long term thing. Because let's say if you were a scalper investor, let's say if you were like a flipper, and you bought X and Y booster boxes when it came out, and you sold them for 200, 250. You made double your money, but in that same amount of time, you could have made 3,900 if you hold. Same thing goes for these other older sets. Um, you know, it is what it is. There's all a different ecosystem in it. So I hope this guides many people to understand what they're doing, understand how they move in this market. I buy, sell primarily, but I don't really, I'm gonna let y'all know, like, later on, if I'm making money. But at the end of the day, it's fun. But it depends. My goal in this YouTube, or in this purpose as a content creator, as a channel, the purpose of my channel would be to help everybody, and help collectors, help people enjoy this hobby. I want to be able to provide stuff, provide cards at good prices, at market price, you know, sell and make. Primarily, actually, my goal, guys, primarily is to make money off of YouTube. I want to be making content and making money off YouTube, so that, like, I could do things. First, obviously, you want to make money off YouTube. Like, who wouldn't want to make money? Like, I think it's a people's dream. I think there's like a goal in people, or dream, that people want to. It's a dream for people to make money on YouTube. You know, to wake up and actually make a video and make money off of it, make a wage, possibly even replace your job if you were successful enough. And that's probably my goal. I don't know. Maybe we'll get there. Maybe we won't. Maybe it all depends into whatever happens. Um, like I said, you know, it's really awesome. So, guys, I thank you all for watching this video. Like and subscribe for more content. I appreciate one of y'all who watched this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. And see you guys next time. Peace out, guys.